Welcome to Free Beer Friday, powered in part by Classic of Dent.
Oh man, guys, this is a day, isn't it?
Oh my gosh,
Right?
yeah.
Guys,
day.
welcome back to Free Beer Friday. I'm your host, Ben, at the Bearded Monk. Oh, hi, how are you? Welcome to Free Beer Friday as well.
Thank you, Ben.
There's a show, there's
Molly,
beer.
and this is Matt from Celestial Beerworks.
How are you guys doing?
Guys, you want to follow this right here. You want to follow this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Celestial Beerworks, this is coming soon. I want to get to that in a minute, though. I don't want to give away any details.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, maybe in a minute we'll give away some details.
Feel free.
Matt, I feel like you're really well known in the beer nerd circles for the beer you've been doing for a while.
Yeah, the nerds.
Right?
It's my focus.
So before we get into where you really cut your teeth commercially, you started right here in Denton, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I went to UNT, graduated 2011, mechanical engineer. Actually, I guess mechanical and energy engineering. So, little.
Do you still call?
Occasionally we'll get the call. I remember, I think orientation was the first and last time I did the call for the most part. But so that was pretty much cut my teeth. Graduated, started home brewing, and here we are now. We started trying different recipes. I think the first beer I brewed was IPA, and still brewing IPA to this day.
I just fell in love with the
Yeah, I
style
know.
immediately.
Instantly,
Yeah, is that what
well,
happened?
that's it. You smell hops once, and you're like, all right.
Oh,
At least for me, it was hooked. So
Nice.
yeah, I started home brewing, learning all the making some bad beers, learning how to bottle 5 gallons at a time, which eventually stopped doing that and straight to kegging, and then we serve beer at some house shows. Just try different styles, try learn, get the hang of what we could, and here we are.
Right on. Well, then how did you end up at Malai Kitchen?
So
Because you've really done a lot in the eyes of the craft beer world.
yeah,
up
so
here
yeah,
in
it
Malai.
was an interesting opportunity. We had just gotten married, Molly and I I was
Belated
kind of
congratulations.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
It's only a couple years later. But yeah, I think I had enrolled in a brewing school because we were at that point where I was getting pretty serious, when it was hoping to open a brewery.
Right on.
But wanted to kind of get more, not just commercial experience, but more education. So enrolled in the American Brewers Guild.
And it's cool because it not only teaches you all the ins and outs of brewing, but how to open up a business and stuff.
Yeah,
So it was,
Right on.
Yeah, they kind of,
Right on.
they kind of, most of it's on it was a science engineering focused course, and then a good chunk of it, towards the end was how to, maybe get a small business loan, how to price your beer, and the whole COGS,
Nice.
cost of goods sold stuff, and try to figure out how to make all the back end stuff work.
How to make the business side versus the product side,
yeah.
right?
So it was a good experience, and so right when I enrolled in that course, I kind of heard about Malai. They were just looking for a brewer. I guess they were about to open another restaurant, needed some help. So.
And you just heard about it on a Facebook group. Someone had posted. So it was kind of neat. You just saw this post.
they were just looking
let me see.
Let's see what happens.
I was at my day job, my old engineering job, I was working, but I kind of saw that
Surfing Facebook.
Yeah, so I saw that post, and I was like, well, reached out, and they were interested. We sat down, kind of got to know each other, and it seemed like a good opportunity for I didn't have any experience before that besides home brewing, so got to basically take on a really small brewery, but it was a brewery, and kind of just learn the ropes, help them grow, and at the same time, I got to learn a lot, so basically a day I would be working at Malai, and then at night doing brewing school. It was an online course, so
Right on.
a lot of lectures, a lot of homework, and then basically I would be brewing one day, at night school, and then learn something new the next day, try to apply it, so it was it was a good way to
Nice.
kind of
Good
hey,
hands-on.
you can adjust your water chemistry, here's some ways to do it, and be okay, maybe I'll try it out tomorrow, so it was cool to implement it immediately on beers, and try different stuff, and
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that you could do that so quickly.
yeah, so it was cool, it was a good opportunity, I think, to
And
to
we were
do
so
both.
thankful to Malai because I feel like they gave you so much freedom too.
Yeah.
Not only that tap, but just kind of trusted you so
Yeah.
you could test
Yeah.
these things
To
out.
play around.
Yeah,
and
pretty much just
try
hey,
out different ingredients.
Yeah.
Try out different
Yeah.
processes.
Yeah,
or-
because they had, I
which
think
is
they
neat.
had pretty much when I started, they had 3 taps. So we had the Thai PA, which is kind of our take on it. It's like a Thai IPA. So we had that, and then beer called Bia Hoi. So it's like a Vietnamese rice lager. Whereas I guess if you're ever in like Hanoi, it's a pretty much just only served on the street. It's kind of an interesting beer. It's known as like the cheapest beer in the world.
And don't they only serve it at Malai, the only place in the United States?
Yeah,
I
think one of them.
or at least it was when you started.
Yeah, I think so. No one
neat.
really brews it. It's kind of just an interesting style, like really known for Vietnam, and so that's kind of how Malai got into brewing beer, because they were interested in serving that beer at the restaurant, but
really
no one served it. No one served it. So they were like, well, you know what, we'll make it ourselves.
Forget it. We'll just brew it in house.
Yeah,
so that's how they got.
Cool.
That's how the whole beer program got started, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. And
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's definitely a different style, but they start serving that beer pretty early in the day. So in the morning, apparently it's really good. It's cold. It's been like chilled all night, and then
in Vietnam, not at Malai.
In Vietnam,
not
at Malai.
They chilled all day in Malai.
Vietnam. So and then as the day goes on, it warms up. It gets pretty humid and hot, and I think the beer gets a little bit harder to choke down. But apparently it's like 25 cents a pour. So
that's interesting.
So it's definitely
So this was their homage to this street beer that you can get everywhere.
Yeah. So then that's kind of blossomed from there. One of the GMs at the time, I think, was like, hey, we should call the beer Thai PA, and this is before I had started. And that kind of, they were like, all right, we'll figure out how to make it, figure out how to make Thai PA. No one knew what that was. So, basically took a lot of the ingredients that were in, like the curries, the pho, and things like that. So lemongrass, ginger, galangal, turmeric, coriander, and like cilantro. So basically just like, it's like
that is so cool.
Mixed with like a bunch of American hops, and, finding a balance. It's kind of hard to balance those ingredients, but I think where that beer is at now is, it's pretty cool.
When you came in, did you tweak some of these recipes? Did you have some play with the already existing stuff?
Yeah, so basically there were some recipes there, and it was kind of trying to like refine them, and basically they were looking for consistency in their beers, and that's kind of where that was like the number one goal. Like, hey, we want consistent beers, so that's where I kind of got, we tweak recipes, like refine them, get them to where they were like consistent, and then they've pretty much been the same for the last couple of years.
Right on. Yeah. Well, and the market has gone nuts for them.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, like being in the beer nerd world, I'm hearing about you all the time because of that. Well, and then the experimentations you've gotten to do too.
Yeah. So basically we have 5 beers on tap, and then we have our rotator tap, and that's where. Basically, they gave me the freedom to experiment and try things out. So, sometimes they were Thai. Maybe they were like, we'd use some interesting ingredients. Like we made a Thai tea beer. Or I made a Thai tea beer. So we use like
Thai tea.
Thai tea. So it's have you ever had Thai tea?
No.
It's like
good. Like
have you guys ever had Thai tea?
Yeah. It's an interesting beer, interesting drink. But it's basically this like. I don't even know the base for the tea, but it's just like a really dark tea. Uses like some interesting food coloring in the actual like. Packaged product,
it's real bright.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really orange, and they mix it with like cream, and it's really sweet. So it's like a really sweet,
tea
drink.
blend.
Yeah, tea blend, and the way they kind of like the served product. So took like almost like a milk stout approach and tried to make like a a Thai tea beer, and so played around with some stuff like that, and then eventually just really
awesome.
Eventually always wanted to do IPAs and.
So it was great that you had this tap there, so you were able to really hone in on your passion and these like New England IPAs and these hazy and juicy.
Yeah, so played around with that.
Beers.
I got into those and just like trying different hop. There's a ton of like U.S. hops. There's also a ton of like Australia. I've learned Australia, New Zealand are like prime locations to grow hops. Like it's just
we have seen that upcoming over the past couple of years, right? Where the
Galaxy.
U.S. brewers have started playing with these Australian hops quite a bit.
Yeah, so like I haven't used them much, but like Galaxy's a cool one. It's really popular, really hard to get. But there's other ones called like Vic's Secret. Nelson is another one that pretty much really hard to get if you're not like a big
green flash.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah.
Too soon, Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, but yeah, so I kind of, when I could find them on like the spot market or something, I'd like buy some. There's these like secondary markets for hops, and would pick them up, try a beer with them, and found some cool blends, and that's kind of where we've gotten to today. Just trying to push the boundaries with some IPAs, and I feel like the market also has been, there's a lot of guys were kind of I feel like that kind of paved the path for some of these new style IPAs, and trying to piggyback and figure out, how to make it work, and just what's a different flavor profile than your normal American IPA, and see what you can do with just I've kind of with just hops kind of thing. So
right on. Yeah, what can you build? What new can you do with combinations of hops? Dude, I love that. Well, and so you've been experimenting. You've honed in these recipes. You want to talk about what's coming next?
Yeah. So I guess for pretty much the last 2 years we've been planning on planning our brewery, Celestial Beerworks. So
so it's kind of neat that we found out all these people really like this kind of beer that you really like to brew. We really like to drink.
You've been brewing for 2 years already.
Nice.
So
use that knowledge.
Yeah. So we were in construction. We broke ground. I guess we got our permits a couple weeks ago. We're slowly getting, easing into the construction phase, and hoping to open this summer. But we've got so many. I feel like beer is the end goal, but we've got so many hurdles to go through right now. That hopefully.
But getting the permits was a big hurdle. So
that's a big one.
Really
that's a totally big one.
Yeah, permits were huge.
Yep. Construction guys can move pretty fast
once you
get started. So Celestial Beerworks is coming, right?
Yep.
Where's it going to be?
So in the medical district, like on Maple and Inwood in Dallas.
Right on.
Sorry, not in Denton, but.
Oh, so sad, guys. I'm sorry.
One day, second location.
Hey, there you go.
Our tap room.
Can always stream.
You just got to start brewing enough to send it up to us.
Exactly.
And then we start tapping them in everywhere.
That's the plan. Let's see how much we can crank out. So. But in medical district, we found an interesting spot. That's it's cool because it's really close to the Dart. So I mean, honestly, people from Denton, you can hop
on the train.
You really could. I mean, it's a solid hour probably, but it's right there. You could get off at I think it's the Inwood Love Field station. It's really close to Love Field, and we're just across the street. So it's kind of really close to Parkland Hospital.
Yeah, really residential area. We're hoping a lot of people can just make it their neighborhood tap room, just walk on down.
Yeah, we'll use a brew pub license, so we'll be able to do. Not only just brew beer and have the tap room, but we can also, focus on to-go sales and things like that, beer releases.
So if I want to go back home, and I live right next to it, I can just pop in, grab a growler, and then take off back home.
Yeah, and then if you come in from Denton, or wherever, you can at least have something to take home. So that's kind of something we want to take advantage of and help showcase our beer. Have some off-premise sales. Which I feel like, Texas, TABC, all the laws are pretty tricky. You've got to kind of, make it work. I feel like the brewery model's changing a little bit. And, there's not a ton of guys doing a lot of, brew pub license things. But it seems like a lot of newer breweries, or even the guys, I know a lot of established breweries are switching from, like a production brewery to brew pub. Because, the capacity or the limit on how many barrels you can make is pretty high. So...
And then you can do on and off premise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, okay. So, guys, in Texas, a production brewery, what was this? About 3 years ago, finally got the right to sell on premise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it used to be you would go to a brewery and you'd have to buy like a tour, or a tasting glass,
tokens,
and then it came with free beer. Mm-hmm. So. Isn't that right about 3 years ago?
I think.
Does that seem
maybe even longer. It might have been 4
or 5.
Hard to say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So in the recent history of Texas, let's just say that.
Yeah.
The TABC finally, through certain means, we won't go into it, allowed breweries to sell on premise. So you can, when you go to a brewery, it's treated like a bar. You can drink pints there or snifters there.
Yeah.
But you still can't, with a production brewery, take that beer to go.
Right.
So if you were to go to, I don't know, Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
Deep Ellum was a good leader in some of their,
I think their tap room
some of their
one
legislation.
of the first. Yeah.
You can't go in there and get a 6-pack to go.
Right.
You have to go down the street to whatever store.
Right.
But with a brew pub, you can do both.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only y'all stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well. Right? So I think for to go, we could only sell our beer.
I think technically we can have other
have guest taps.
We probably won't.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
with the license you can.
Yeah, you can do guest tab because I know Denton County Brewing does guest tabs
on rotation.
Can you do growlers of other people's stuff as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, on rotation does. I think you can do growlers. Yeah,
I
think it's
stuff.
Yeah, I think you can do off premise. You get to kind of benefit from like a couple tiers of the 3-tier system. Yeah. So you're kind of a retailer and manufacturer.
Yeah, you're production and retailer, like I am, like Bearded Monk is.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do some of those things.
Yeah. And it's better with a lot of the kinds of beers we're planning on brewing, just getting it fresh, like having people buy it straight from
small
us,
batches,
not
just pump
sitting
them out.
for months at Tom Thumb and picking them up. You know.
Right on.
Yeah, so
right on.
Yeah, we plan. We're not going to like immediately can, or we're kind of going to focus, I think, on crowlering. Because it's a pretty relatively easy form of like packaging to get into, and that's kind of where Molly's going to be our art director, focus on making the space really cool. Yeah. So we were talking about all those.
My baby. Yeah, decorate all the cans, shrink wrap them on.
Yeah, so we were talking about all the murals around town earlier, and so Molly's been working on a really cool mural on the in front of our space. So
very cool.
Yeah,
do we want to talk about this mural? Because I'm a big fan of art.
All right. Well,
I don't know if you want to talk about the design before it's done, but
I mean, you can go by and see it. It's probably about halfway done at this point. It's very abstract, just really colorful, really funky, and it was neat because we had a bunch of people come by and help us tear down the ceilings, tear up the floors, and a lot of the ladies helped me just fill in a bunch of big spaces of color, and so it's coming together.
It's just like a big white brick. I guess it was painted building.
Yeah, it was just
before.
begging to be painted.
Blank canvas.
It was perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's so we're trying to make it. Definitely, we want people to come in for the beer. We also want people to come in for a cool experience or a cool cool environment.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So why Celestial? Where's the idea behind this name?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that's mostly your baby. Just very science-minded.
Yeah. I mean, for me, since I was, basically, ex-engineer. I mean, I guess current engineer too, but really, it never did into
different form of engineer.
Different form, beer engineer. But just always into space, always into science, and just like
always had your telescope.
Yeah,
of our first romantic dates.
Yeah. Cranking it in Denton, less light pollution here than in Dallas.
Awesome.
So we always like checking out, looking up and trying to see what we could see. I had one of my good buddies too also had a much cooler telescope than I had, so we could see a lot farther into the galaxies and things. So, but that was sort of inspiration. Just really thought space would be a cool theme for the brewery.
Right.
And there's a lot of cool ways to apply all those different names and different ideas and theories and stuff. So there's a lot of
and cool events that we can, correlate our beer events to an eclipse that's happening, and things are happening.
Which we're coming up, right?
Yeah,
we're going to be in
this fall or something, or I can't remember. I think it's like
is it this year,
or maybe it's next year? It's maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit further.
It's sooner
out.
than I thought it would be from the.
But
last
we're going to be in complete blackness for the next solar eclipse.
Yeah, so we'll try to time a beer.
Glow in the dark beers.
Yeah, something like you got to be able to see what you're drinking.
Collective had their glitter beers.
Yeah, we'll try to find something.
Crack open glow sticks in the beer, but don't drink it.
Yeah. You may not want to. We don't recommend drinking this beer.
Glow in the dark cups.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. The eclipse viewing glasses.
Oh yeah,
and then you get your plastic glow in the dark cup.
Yeah,
you can only see your limited edition beer. Come on, that'd be awesome.
All right, we'll have to hire you to help us figure this stuff out.
I'm there. I am there. This is gonna be awesome. I already planned. I was gonna put my backyard on Airbnb. So there were folks that were taking off to go camp in people's backyards to see the eclipse.
I remember that. Yeah.
So you guys have got this primed perfectly.
I was brewing beer at Malai. I remember it was whenever was it this summer?
Yeah,
last summer.
Yeah.
And I remember peeking out hoping didn't get to order the glasses in time. Yeah, we weren't staring at it, but you could kind of get a good feel for what was going on.
Oh man, the light was
the reflection.
Weird.
The plant. The trees.
Crescents.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those weird shadows. I remember it was really cool.
Well, my eyes could not figure out what was going on. I walked out of the bar, and just looking at the patio, it's I can't focus. Something's weird. It's cloudy, but it's not cloudy. What's going on? Oh my gosh, we'd have so much fun with this.
I think so.
I want to be there. I want to be there. For this.
Hopefully have something going on. So
yes.
you just hop on the train, write it down.
Yeah, just cruise on down.
Bring a dolly. We'll load you up with some cases. You can
I love this.
Self-distribution or something.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So what should we expect from the beers? What are we going to see at the beginning?
So I think we're going to kind of like we've talked about, like stick to our guns. Probably most of our first beers will probably be hop forward.
Right on.
It's kind of what we're drinking tonight. But just one of our main, like hopefully is our like maybe sort of a flagship beer. We want to do a lot of rotating beers, but we want to try to at least have a few that are we can brew year round. But one's called Kepler IPA. So
so there it is.
Kind of inspired
Printed by Pint Services. There it
is. Right here.
One of the three shirts we have. We actually just printed it at a Luckapalooza event back in October. So
nice.
we've got a few fresh of it. But so Kepler, he's like one of the, I guess, I think he was
important astronomers.
Yeah. But he basically, developed like planetary motion. Changed it from, I think he figured out that the planets rotate around the sun, orbit around the sun like an ecliptic motion. So, it was definitely like a cool idea. Trying to pull from like different historians or history.
It's just so cool having celestial as your theme because I feel like you can just like go on wiki like, what's cool
open.
And
Kepler. I thought Kepler was a cool idea, but that's one that we've been working on trying to source a few varieties of hops like to use for this beer, and one is an Australian variety called Topaz, which is a weird, it's just not like guys use it. Maybe they do, and just no one. I've only used it a few times at Malai, and just because couldn't get it a lot, but
just darn near impossible.
Yeah. It's not like as in it's sort of on the level of Galaxy, but not as hard to get or as expensive. So,
gotcha.
So we're hoping to kind of have a few beers like that. But so Kepler's one.
Wait, and what's the beer style too?
So it's
because these poor folks haven't tasted.
So,
if they're not here trying this beer, they haven't tasted it.
So I guess technically New England style IPA. So
and it's glorious.
Yeah. I've been kind of like
not quite as bitter. Like
a little bit.
Usually has this kind of hazy.
Yeah, kind of almost
to it.
Yeah, almost like a modern IPA. I feel like for people that don't like IPAs in a way, so it's less bitter, more fruity, more citrusy,
right on.
A little bit smoother. Yeah, the bitterness is much more restrained than your typical IPA. So, and I think those are just like fun beers. Different. It's like kind of a new style, and they finally, like the Brewers Association finally came out and were like recognized it. It's been I think a couple years in the making where they were like where they were just like
took that long.
Yeah, I think it's
make it a designation.
Yeah, so now it's technically a style. So
nice.
It'll
So this year a bunch of people will probably enter into the
GABF.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's gonna be the big category.
Oh, I think it will because IPA is already pretty big. And then I think this one will probably be a very very competitive one.
Yeah.
So
and it is nice. I think opening with a bunch of IPAs might be a little bit intimidating, I think, for a lot of people that aren't necessarily beer drinkers or just people that say, I don't like IPA, it's too bitter, and this is so drinkable, So
big time.
I think, like best of both worlds for like hop heads like it and people that want a little more drinkable beer. And
I think so too.
Easier,
Right on.
I think
so this could be one of the first.
Right.
Yeah. So the Kepler.
Another one is called Gravitational Collapse. So it'd be more of probably a pale ale, just a lighter, lower ABV, but still like a lot of flavor. Another one actually isn't an IPA, but it'll be called Proto Planet. So it's I'm trying to remember. It's like a
single origin coffee.
Yeah,
that we use.
Single origin like coffee stout.
Okay,
but we got it from this coffee shop in Oak Cliff called Cultivar.
I think at this point I think everybody knows Cultivar.
Yeah, I hope
so. Well,
so.
they've got one up here too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Attached to Hypnotic up here.
Oh,
Hypnotic Donuts and Cultivar have a
Perfect
spot
combo.
right here off the square.
I know Cultivar has that other spot by Good Friend Package. Down in
yeah.
East Dallas. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'll have to go.
But we used, I can't remember, it was like a Salvadorian coffee, super fruit, they're like very fruit forward.
Almost like a blueberry-ish.
Yeah, they're super berry.
Right on.
Yeah.
So they have they have a cool profile, not as less. I mean, I think they do make some more roasty ones, but I thought that was a cool bean to play around with. So there's a ton of, I feel like, coffee varieties that complement like either malt or hops too, and so try to play around with some of those things. We hope to get into barrel aging pretty soon too. And those beers take a little longer to develop, but
We have a friend that's very much into
bourbon.
Yeah, bourbon, and so we might have some connections for us.
So we're trying to get some barrels out of him.
Yeah.
We're hoping. So
I like this.
It'd be fun. I mean, I've never done really much barrel aging, but I feel like, it'd be fun to play around with some of that stuff. But like wine barrels, another thing we want to try to get into. We don't plan on doing like a ton of sour stuff, but I think like mixed culture fermentations are very cool. Very
right on.
They take time, but they definitely have some. It's something I've always liked doing at home. I've done a few here and there. They just take a while. It's just like having a bunch of carboys aging at home.
Brew pub license, because we don't have to stick to these 5 beers that we're mass producing and distributing. So we can kind of play around.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have familiar beers when you come in, but hopefully we'll also have some push the boundaries with some stuff.
Something to play around with over here.
Yeah.
Right on.
Focus on some lagers a little bit occasionally. We won't be like a lager brewery, but, we want to play around with some stuff like that too. So
nice.
Yeah. So I've done some at Malai, and, kind of learn some tricks. And, I think that's I feel like the lager's making a comeback in the beer world too, the craft beer world. So.
Yep. You've got a bunch of folks that want to drink all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got to have something that's a little bit later.
Yeah.
And that's something I've seen a couple of times that I feel like this 2018 especially is going to be like the year of the craft lager.
Yeah, it's coming around, I think.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. It's different. It's a hard style to brew. They're so clean. They're hoppy.
There is no room for mistake.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So and they just they take time. I've kind of learned there's honestly kind of a sort of a young Pilsner is actually kind of hazy, or young lagers. Just the yeast typically stays in suspension for a while.
Really?
So it just takes a while for that to clear up and things like that. So that's something we want to kind of play around with. But our lagers might be a little younger than some others, but it'd be fun to like at least tinker with and at least get into. So
that'll be a lot of fun to play with. Well, and I'm excited that you've gotten this practice in. You've been brewing some really exciting stuff at Malai, and now you get to apply that to your own thing, and you guys get to do your own project.
Yeah.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're blessed. It's gonna be fun.
And we're looking June-ish.
We're hoping for June.
If all goes well with construction and
like every time we give a deadline, it's a little bit further. But we're hoping for June this summer.
Second
Summer.
half of 2018, somewhere in there.
Exactly.
Summer's like 6 months.
in
Texas. So
exactly.
Great.
We could just say
that
summer.
Can go into
that could
November.
be in 2 months. It could be in 4 months. So
this is so exciting, guys.
We're pumped.
Well, and so we need to go drink some beer.
Yeah.
And there's already a crowd
we've
here.
Got some people serving.
If you guys, thank goodness to the old Perception boys.
Yeah, right? some of my buddies, they're manning the taps for us.
I love this. So. This is awesome.
Yeah. Scott, right. John.
Oh, what? Hey.
Cheers.
All right, so guys, if you aren't here with us right now, you need to be. We're gonna go out. We're gonna be down here and go do some drinking, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we'll be here till probably about 8:30ish, and then we'll go back to the Munkin party. So if you guys want to come up here and meet us, try some of these beers. Let's do it. And if you can't make it up, before we leave,
then be at Celestial and
come hang out. And then this summer, come to Celestial and we'll do some more drinking.
Definitely. We'll keep everything updated online, so as things progress. So hopefully we'll eventually target in an opening date. So
right on. So you can start promoting that. Out. Well, do you want to tell everybody your social media tags too? I think we've got them tagged. But if you want to say,
you mean like Facebook?
Celestial
Facebook,
Beerworks
Instagram.
on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, Celestial Beerworks. That's super simple.
That's it. Yeah.
That is super simple.
Hopefully, the only one out there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes.
Kidding,
Come on.
We got it.
This is y'all.
We locked
this
it
is
down.
y'all.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us again on Free Beer Friday, and we'll see you next week. Let's go do some drinking.
All right.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Let's do this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.